Hey everybody, Pony, what's up?
Zero.
JTH, and we are going to be getting part 4, I believe, yes, part 4, of our reaction to Princess Lunaughty.
Yep.
So, here we go, part 4. No, I lost my homework. Derp. Twilight Sparkle, control yourself. What? Twilight Sparkle froze, her eyes blinking rapidly as she attempted to realize what was going on. How did I... Wait, it was a dream? She looked over at her left, realizing that she was in bed, and saw Princess Celestia standing next to the bed right beside her. Celestia! How did... In an instant, the memories of the events before her slumber came rushing back to her mind, her eyes opening wide as she realized what was going on. Princess Luna! We've got to stop her! Twilight, take it easy, Celestia said in a calm, steady voice. I know about Luna already. You do? Twilight tilted her head in confusion, her eyes still batting rapidly a bit as she tried to think further. Yes, Luna told me she had sent you home already after finding you in her bed with a sleeping spell cast on your mind. With this much moisture on the bed, there was only one conceivable conclusion I could make. Hand. Then that means that Twilight lowered her head a bit, looking down at the sheets she was still half covered by. That Princess Luna has turned into the next Molestia? I don't think so. There's something different going on. Celestia's eyes narrowed as she seemed to stare off into the distance. When my mind was lost by my own Molestia side, I didn't think things through very well, and I knew what I wanted and went after it, like a dog chasing a carriage. Sure, I could maneuver around obstacles and figure my way out of a bind or two, but I didn't have any real sort of planning, just a direction that I went. Luna, however, seems to be much more cognizant, much more in tune with the proper thinking skills and full use of her mental abilities. So what you're saying is Princess Luna is just like you and she went, off on a tangent? No, she's different, yet similar still. Celestia stopped for a moment, further pondering her thoughts from earlier. I don't know the entire situation, but if it comes down to it, I believe we may need to use the elements of harmony again on Luna to set her mind straight. Chaos has erupted in her mind, and it's up to us to save her. The elements on Princess Luna? But Your Highness, do you think that too much exposure to that kind of magic is a bad thing? I mean, we already used it on her once. Don't worry, Twilight Sparkle. The elements of harmony are a force of pure good, and there is little to fear in an area of negative side effects. Alright, if you're sure then, Princess, we'll have to gather up my friends again. Can you teleport us to Ponyville? I can exactly make long-distance jumps like that by myself. No, if Luna's running on her own for the first target, it will most likely be in Ponyville just as mine was. That means if I were to teleport there, she would be able to sense the magic I used and escape before we even knew where she was. It's imperative that we fly over there and bring a few squads of my Pegasus Royal Guards with us, but we must hurry. I do not know what sort of trouble my sister could be causing right now, so let's go, Twilight. Right, but please hold on for a second. Twilight grunted lightly as she shook her limbs around, cracking her back and her neck a couple of times as well. I feel really stiff after all that. Hey guys, what's going on? Lyra called out to Colgate and Carrot Top as her and Bonbon got out of their chairs. Calling it a night already? Colgate replied. Yeah, Bonbon's getting tired and we're both gonna head in for the night. Aww, alright then. You two take care. You too, Lyra replied gently as her and Bonbon waved at the two at the bar. After magically floating her light saddlebag onto her back, Lyra proceeded out of the club's near door with Bonbon close behind her. The two proceeded up the stairs and towards the second door, but as they passed through, they moved by a particularly looking pink pony with a poopy dark blue mane. They recognized as the mare that went out with Derpy and Shirley earlier, but didn't catch her name. Oh, cripes, here we go. I think I know what's gonna happen. As the two walked by, the mare seemed to stare at them as if in some sort of surprise. Lyra and Bonbon stared back briefly, but decided to get into some sort of awkward but decided against and absorb backwards during the situation. Instead, they both continued forward and proceeded towards their home. The pair trod side by side all alone in the quiet night of the Ponyville streets. As they neared their home, they heard a strange sound coming from behind them, like some sort of magic spell in the works. There was a brief shine of light as well, but when the two turned back, there was nothing there. The two stayed quiet, their ears perked up as they listened for any other sort of odd disturbance. Neither knew if they were acting a bit too paranoid or if something didn't feel right to them. Regardless, however, they both ultimately shrugged it off as they reached their home and proceeded inside, Lyra locking the door behind them. Their house was dark, all the lights off except for one lamp in the bedroom, which they both promptly moved towards. And moving into the bed, let out a deep sigh. Bon Bon let out a deep sigh. Something wrong? Lyra asked, her muzzle lightly nudging against Bon Bon's cheek. Aw. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a little cute. No, nothing really, Bon Bon replied. Just got a strange feeling we were being followed. Oh, stop being paranoid, Lyra smirked. It's not like some pony's gonna barge in on us or something. Yeah. Oh, yes, honey, I know, but I'm just... Oh, she called Lyra honey. That's so sweet.
Well, they are engaged.
That's true. Well, they're a couple.
They said that they were engaged.
Oh, okay. Bon Bon sighed again, shaking her head side to side lightly. She started to lower her head a bit, but Lyra's muzzle slid under her chin and raised it against her lips, caressed Bon Bon's neck. Come on, let's go to bed. I know how to make you feel better, Lyra cooed, kissing Bon Bon's neck more. Oh, you, Bon Bon giggled and giggled a little as she lifted and turned her head while Lyra began to motion them towards their bed. Oh crap, here we go. Lyra turned Bon Bon and pushed her backwards. Her shoulders sank up against the bed. She gave out a playful squeak. Lyra slid up against her quickly, their lips gliding together for a moment before engaging in a full kiss. Lyra's front hoof slid against her shoulders as Lyra's back was pushed between Bon Bon's haunches. Their chests and bellies pressing together. Suddenly, a light ping sound caught the couple's attention. Da-dum. Da-dum. Da-dum, 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 da-dum.
Da-da-da. Ready.
What was that? Bon Bon asked as she pulled her head back slowly. I don't know, Lyra replied, turning her head around. She peered into the darkness of the hallway outside their door for a few moments before turning back to Bon Bon. I'm sure it was nothing. Probably just a stray cat outside. Pardon me, my lips are a little dry. But it sounded like it came from inside. Honey, please, don't worry about it. It's probably nothing. Come on, let's get in bed. It's just you and me. And us. Bon Bon and Lyra froze suddenly, their eyes opened wide as they stared at each other. They stayed still for a few moments, both exchanging looks of surprise and slight hints of fear. After a few more seconds, they both began to move their heads, Lyra turning hers to the side to look around and look backwards as Bon Bon simply moved her head in one direction. There, standing in the doorway, was a tall, dark figure with a long, wavy mane that sparkled in the shadows. Its eyes glowed back at theirs as if trying to put the two in a trance. Soon the figure shifted slightly and proceeded to move into the room, the light revealing the figure's identity. Princess! Lyra choked out as she rolled onto her side, planting her back against the bed right up against Bon Bon's side. Princess Luna, Bon Bon began. Why are you in here? Well, Luna smirked as she slowly approached the two. I was hoping I would get the chance to get you two alone. I'm glad I found you when I did. Oh god, oh crap. Here we go. What do you mean? Lyra asked once more, one of her hoofs sliding across Bon Bon in a defensive manner. What do you want from us? More fun, Luna said in a menacing tone as her front hoofs planted just inches away from the couple's hooves. I want more, and the fun has just been doubled. Oh, Jesus, here we go. Everybody better brace yourselves. This, I think, might get ugly. Just a thought. Luna's heart began to glow without warning, and before the couple could react, their bed sheets slid out from under and began to tangle around their bodies. Corners of the sheets twisted lightly and strung themselves around their waists, hooking their front hooves behind their backs and wrapping around their heads with part of the sheets at their face pushed into their mouths between their teeth. Instantly, they struggled and fought against their binds, but Luna's magic held the sheets tight against her prey. Her magic shifted just then, moving the two onto the bed fully and sliding them together. They were facing each other, Bonbon on her back with Lyra on top, but their back legs locked together with both of their rumps pushed outwards obscenely. Their struggles continued in vain while they let out grunts and whines through their gagged mouths. Luna leaned her head downward, her tongue sliding hungrily against their lips as she stared at their rumps before her just at the edge of the bed. In one swift motion, one of their front hooves went up against their waists, and her figure lunged forward, tongue lapping first at Bonbon's rear. Bonbon let out a muffled squeal, body tightening against her restraints as she struggled even more. Luna continued kissing and licking between her haunches a few more times before moving up to Lyra, forcing a similar squeal from her. Luna's hooves slid up and down around her captive's outer thighs, stroking them firmly as she continued to service the two. Her tongue slithered forward, pushing between their lower bodies were pressed together, while her lips would caress their inner thighs. Oh, Jesus in heaven and hell. Luna soon felt satisfied with herself, having worked up the two before her and causing them to moan and squeal with every touch. They were ready for Luna's next move, and after one last lick, she leaned up and began her next move. In another swift motion, she pulled herself onto the bed, her wings extended as she lowered herself onto the two, her belly pressed against Lyra's back with her front hooves against Bonbon's shoulders. Her tail slid down between their legs, sloping the couples in her haunches where she was licking earlier. Again, the two let out muffled moans, a soft layer of sweat visible on their coats. She then leaned her head down, giving the unicorn's horn a soft lick on the tip before enveloping the entire length with her lips. Below, Lyra's cheeks shined crimson as she closed her eyes tight, her body squirming around with further yelps of being coerced, I guess. Bonbon watched as Luna's hips pressed down against her lover while she was sucked on Lyra's horn. She was the only one that had ever done that to Lyra. But now she had to watch as they were both used and abused by the goddess of the night, helpless and entirely at her mercy. For a few moments, Bonbon almost began to cry in anguish. Before a tear could fall, she felt a jolt originate from between her haunches as Luna's tail began to flicker against her. It stroked and wiped against the form and figure, seeming as if it was physically inspecting her. Bonbon leaned her head back, trying the best to hold back more forced moans. But the sensations flowing through her body, both her and Lyra's body, were too great as they excited more gasps and squeals. Luna quickly got herself worked up and already beginning to thrust her hips downwards and pushing against both her captive's rumps. Each thrust pushed them back and forth on the bed with rapidly increasing speed and strength of each thrust being promptly began squeaking with every pelvic advance. The hooves were pressed tight against the bed and she continued to plow downward, her eyes staring wide down at her prey with drool dripping out of her mouth and down Lyra's horn. Her tail continued to rapidly stroke between the two smaller ponies' bodies, while her mane started to slide downwards around the side of her head. It came around under Lyra's chin and pulled away the piece of the sheets in Bonbon's mouth. But before she could utter a noise, the hair quickly plunged itself in. Looks like you were right. I guess we just had to go a few points. It stuffed and swirled around in Bonbon's mouth, pulsing and writhing around at the same frequency as Luna's body.
Why?
Here we go with the hair again. Half a minute later, Luna finally pulled herself off Lyra's horn and smacked her lips together loudly as if she was savoring the taste and feel in her mouth. Looking down, she noticed that Lyra seemed to be calming down, despite still feeling the sensations coursing through her from her whole body. Luna wanted more. She wanted to kiss the two active lovers at one time. Her magic shifted slightly just then, focusing on one piece of the sheets in Lyra's mouth and pulling it off. Just as before, Lyra did not have a moment to utter a noise before her mouth was blocked again, this time by Luna's tongue as it slithered between her lips. Her lips followed suit, pressing tight against Lyra's and completing the deep, lustful kiss. Luna's tongue meshed and tangled against Lyra, slithering and lapping around inside her mouth. Before long, Luna switched, pulling her hair out of Bonbon's mouth and over to the mouth of Lyra's, and swapping, kissing Bonbon deeply as her hair delved straight into Lyra's mouth. Luna's tongue dominated Bonbon's as it worked its way around aggressively, moving against all parts of her mouth. All in synchronization, their bodies pulsed together, Lyra and Bonbon unable to escape as Luna had her way with them, using as much of their bodies as she wanted. With every passing second, her hunger grew, as did the power of her kiss and the strength of each of her thrusts. Before she could find herself at the apex of pleasure, her captives gave out. Wrecked to the edge of four sensations mixed with fear and shock, both Lyra and Bonbon fainted, their bodies going limp and no longer giving the same physical stimulation. Bonbon's tongue stopped biting back as Lyra's body stopped struggling and rubbing against Luna's. Shortly after, Luna herself came to a stop, once more denied her own climactic experience. She rose from the couple's bodies, their minds already put to sleep. She looked over them as she untied the knots around them and left their sheets draped over them carefully, both still locked together. After giving another look over, Luna turned and began to make her way out of the house. Well, that was fun while it lasted, Luna thought as she closed the door behind her after exiting the home and made her way down the dark Ponyville street. I do certainly hope that Colgate and Carrot Top put on a better display than that couple, or else I may actually have to use a spell to keep them awake. Luna continued down the street, her magic once more changing her appearance. Instead of Discolon, she changed back into Starshine Brightglow this time. Her transformation was fast and clean, with very little to no magic wasted. It shouldn't be too hard to get those two into a private location. Just to go and say something about that Barry character, draw them out, then get them in an alley, and they're all mine. Too easy. Princess Luna! The crowd gasped in unison. I hate to say it, but it's true, Celestia said solemnly, her head dipped low. My sister has gone on her own twisted spree just like I did. The five friends stared at Celestia first, then at Twilight Sparkle, who stood beside her with the same look on her face. Thoughts began to race through her mind as of what might happen, and what the night might be like with Luna doing the molesting instead of Celestia this time. Normally the five friends would do anything to help each other, but just this once, some started to feel a bit of hesitation. So wait, let me get this straight, Rainbow Dash began as she looked around, starting to feel a bit paranoid, standing on top of the sweet Apple Acre Hill in the middle of the night. Twilight was with Princess Luna, and then Princess Luna, did uncool things to her, and then she put her to sleep to come here to Ponyville to do more uncool things to other ponies? And that's when Princess Celestia found that's when Princess Celestia found Twilight and gave her the sleepy sleep spell. Pinkie Pie continued for Rainbow Dash. Then y'all came here to help us get the elements so we can save Princess Luna like we did Celestia? Applejack said. And if we don't help them, then many more ponies will suffer the same awful experiences that we did? Fluttershy added in a sad tone. And letting a group run around like that is just the worst possible thing! Rarity finally finished pulling over a fancy chair with her magic and pretended to faint onto it. Well, I guess that's pretty much sums it all up right there, Twilight replied. Princess Luna is somewhere out there in Ponyville right now doing Celestia knows what. Well, Celestia coughed. Oh, right, Twilight blushed slightly and then cleared her throat before she continued. But anyways, we really need to help stop Princess Luna. I know we just got out of what happened a couple of days ago, but the elements are needed, and it is our duty to use them to help save our friends, and Luna is our friend. Why can't we just try talking to Princess Luna instead of just blasting her with another rainbow? Pinkie said, rubbing her hoop on her chin. I mean, wouldn't that be a lot nicer? I'm sorry, but I don't think there is any other way. Celestia sighed and then looked over to the town of Ponyville in the distance. I have several groups of guards over there already, beginning their searches. Twilight and I will search around for magical spells being cast around the town. Then I'm sure you all have your own methods of helping with the search. I know I'll be flying around the skies as a lookout, Rainbow Dash proclaimed. I'll check around with some of the townsfolk. Some of them might like to keep things they see to themselves, but I know how to get them to talk. Applejack smirked and raised her head proudly. All I need to do is to wake up Big Macintosh to lend me a hoof. Lend me a hoof. I can ask some of the animals around the town to see if they've seen the princess anywhere, Fluttershy peeped. And I think that I can think like the most royalty. I should be able to figure out where Luna would go, with her being such royalty. Rarity added as she daintily flung her mane to the side. I know every pony, and I know every pony, and I mean every pony in Ponyville, Pinkie Pie cheered happily. If I see any pony that I don't know, like if Naughty Naughty Luna is trying to put on a disguise or something, I'll know.
Where have I heard that name before?
Tumblr. Naughty Naughty Luna, Twilight replied. Twilight reared her head back slightly, her right eyebrow cocked as she looked at Pinkie Pie. You said cock. Ow! What the hell?
Stop quoting Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, or better yet, how about Lunaughty?
There's the title.
At that point, Twilight's face was mimicked by Celestia's as they both stared at the pink party pony. Pinkie Pie saw their faces and then turned away to see every pony else giving the same. Not similar faces of disturbance, disgust, or just plain confusion. What? Pinkie said, looking all around at the awkward stares directed toward her. Nothing, Twilight finally said. Just please, go find Princess Luna already. It seems like using the elements will be the only way to save her. Right, but I have to try something else first. Celestia thought to herself as she watched the element bearers make their way towards Ponyville. If I can get to Luna and talk to her, there may be another way to stop this. And end this crazy charade once and for all. There's something more to this whole thing. I know it. Celestia looked to see Twilight standing beside her. Looking up unexpectedly as she waited for Celestia's lead to begin the search through town. I'm sorry for deceiving you like this, my star pupil. But this is for the best interest of Equestria. I know you will understand. End part 4.
I'm sorry for deceiving you like this. What does that mean?
I do not know.
Is she gonna rape Twilight again?
I don't know.
She's probably gonna let the molestia side come out and something fucked up's gonna happen. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You know what? I kind of find it funny that I hardly even talked in that video. I kept my mouth shut through the whole thing, just making like facial expressions. It's kind of funny.
Well, anyways,
I had nothing to say.
Well, anyways, this is JTH.
Until Zero.
Grab your Sonic.
Oh, sorry.
Where's your Sonic? This is JTH.
Until Zero.
Goodbye.
Oh,
Goodbye.
what the?